Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as I said in my previous video, that kind of covers quite a few things, including why I've been away for such a long time. There's still a lot to unpack. Now, as I said, I watched all 3 episodes back to back, and I'm sure you guys have all seen it by now. A lot of people are journeying through it, and a lot of people are hate watching this content. For Netflix, this has been an extremely successful debut of their Pound of Flesh from the Archwell Foundation Studios, or should I say Archwell Studios, and from the Sussexes. They're definitely going to get their money back because a lot of people are subscribing to simply hate watch this docuseries that Meghan and Harry have unfortunately dropped just before Christmas to ruin our Christmas essentially and galvanize all of the attention. It definitely is a selfish move considering we know that Christmas is a time whereby a lot of activities do take place in the royal household, such as Kate's Christmas Carol service, which went ahead today. And then, of course, we are going to have the King's speech in replacement of his mother, our late Queen. But before I waffle on and on and on, let me get back to some of the things that really was quite annoying to witness. So we have more claims from the Sussexes that upon their retirement, their self-induced retirement after their South African diabolical, disastrous Tom Brady interview slash charitable tour that they was meant to be doing, their royal tour, which turned into a wine fest, none other than anything else that we've seen from the Sussexes. Everything about them is comprised of moaning and whining and basically screaming out how the British public have treated them abhorrently and the royal family have treated them abhorrently and everyone has treated them abhorrently and they are receiving treatment that is malignant and malicious and other than anyone else who has ever entered into the royal fold. They believe that everything that they have experienced in the royal firm that has been malicious and against their best interest has been due to Meghan Markle's race, which a lot of people are not in agreement with. So Harry claims, which I think is a direct attack on our late Queen, and you kind of think they probably should have edited this section out, that allegedly upon their return from Vancouver Island, which is a place that they ran away to, they were 2 runaway escapee working Wales for the duration of their entire career as working senior royals. They went to an exclusive mansion on Vancouver Island to get away from it all, essentially getting away from the crap that they had pretty much whipped up, and they had to run away. Now, that obviously was an excuse. Harry claims that upon his return, he was desperate to see the Queen in order to resolve the issues, the outstanding issues that him and his wife were facing in the royal household. And allegedly, upon email, she had agreed to see him and Meghan. And then, of course, when they landed in the UK, he says that senior royal aides blocked him from having access to his grandmother and he was unable to see her. But has it dawned upon Mr. H that the Queen was essentially putting duty and serving her country first, as she did all the way up until the last day of her life when she was in extreme pain from her bone cancer disease? Has it ever dawned on him that she was actually fulfilling her duty to Queen and country? It could have been a case whereby, of course, indeed, she had time at the time that she shot the email to him and responded to his Moan and Wine Fest to see him, and then, of course, duty called, things changed, and he got put on the back burner because he's really not that important. He goes on to basically say that William and Charles bullied him out of the royal family and the institution didn't support them against the media. So essentially what he said was that after his meeting at Sandringham, there was a statement put out which was allegedly against his will, because he wasn't even aware that the statement was being made, that William and him had agreed to a certain extent to retain some level of unity, and that they was not at odds, when indeed they in fact was. Harry is maintaining that the firm actually was twisting stories and spouting lies, and this is from his words, in order to protect William, but they never ever put any stories out to protect him and Meghan. Harry and Meghan also go on to directly attack and take jibes and shots at William and Kate directly, especially regarding the final royal duty that they served, where Meghan wore that, it wasn't the best dress to wear for her PR, but she wore that extremely bottle jade green dress, and that was their final basic public appearance, which was very frosty, very cold, and we saw Harry actually shooting daggers at the heads of William and Kate. So Meghan and Harry go on to slam William and Kate as very cold and dismissive of them, and they described it as a very uncomfortable final public appearance. And of course, it would have been extremely uncomfortable because William felt let down. William felt betrayed, essentially. And Harry doesn't really seem to acknowledge that, and neither does Meghan. They seem to be self gratifying and very fixated on themselves and how they felt. Meghan talked about how some guy from her private jet, as he was helping her to offload her bags, he said to her, you know, thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you, ma'am, for your sacrifice. And I was just trying to figure out what exactly she was talking about and what exactly he was talking about. Sacrificed what exactly? What did she exactly sacrifice? She wasn't an Oscar-winning actress. She wasn't a Hollywood starlet. She didn't exactly have access to the likes of Beyonce, Oprah Winfrey, Idris Elba, Tyler Perry. These people were not on her radar before she joined this institution and before she became a runaway royal. She talked about this element of sacrifice. Now, I can definitely agree with her and say, to a certain extent, she sacrificed the freedom that she had as an unknown D-list actress, in as much as her face wasn't plastered everywhere, so she didn't have that media attention and she didn't have that scrutiny that she now has. She never had to live her life in a goldfish bowl. But apart from that, her life has improved. Her finances have gone up, her status has gone up, and she's getting all of the attention and the adulation and the self gratification and a lot of narcissistic supply that she was desperately looking and searching for before she got with Harry. They also go on to claim, which I think I touched upon a little bit in my previous video, that the royals and the Queen, which is another shot at the Queen, have essentially failed the institution, and they've definitely failed Meghan, and they failed the rest of the Commonwealth. So you can see that this docuseries is heavily garnered at taking shots directly at the royal firm and essentially dismantling and dividing the Commonwealth. There's a journalist who goes on to talk about the way in which in 2021 Barbados, former Commonwealth island, has requested to remove the Queen as head of state, and they kind of interlink it with their story. And Harry basically says that Meghan Markle represents those who are in the Commonwealth, 2.1 billion people who are of colour, black and brown people, and essentially the royal firm does not deserve to have a hold of the Commonwealth. So you can see the way in which Harry is desperate to fracture his brother's legacy. He doesn't want the royal firm to stand, and he really is out to destroy his brother's inheritance, which he is fully aware of. And this definitely signifies his jealousy of William and William's children, which is rather sad because you would think that Harry would now stop. Harry has everything that he has kicked up a fuss about. He has the mansion in Hollywood. He has the LA friends. He has the money from Netflix. He's signing whatever deals he wants. he almost does have his half in, half out deal, in as much as he gets to use the Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles. If Charles is completely out of his mind, he could bestow upon Lily and Archie a prince and princess title. We know that he has intentions to slim down the monarchy, so it's very unlikely that he is going to do that. And Harry has been given everything that he wants, and quite clearly, we can all see from this docuseries, it's simply not enough. And he's going to go on and on and on until he gets what he wants, which is the fraction and the destruction of the royal firm as it stands. I don't think that in Harry's quest for destruction, he's even stood to think about what that really means, even for his children's legacy. Because even though he doesn't want the royal firm to stand as it is, it doesn't really serve him or his children in the future years to come to destroy the whole institution, an institution that stood for years and years and years. And I'm not saying that that's a justification for it to continue on forever, but I'm simply saying that we have to acknowledge that the impact of what Harry is trying to achieve is going to have a negative knock-on effect for not only himself, but also his children's future and their children. But he doesn't see that. He's wrapped up in his rage, he's wrapped up in his envy, and he's also wrapped up, it seems, in his hatred for essentially being born as the spare. I will be back with another video, guys, because there's a lot more to uncover. So, bye, guys.